One of the most common questions I get asked is how heavy should I be lifting for combat sports? Load management is one of the most important concepts you need to understand when it comes to resistance training, because it's going to allow you to auto-regulate the intensity of your training sessions to how you feel on that day, which will reduce risk of injuries, reduce over-fatiguing yourself, which ultimately will lead to better results in the weight room. Two simple ways we can measure the intensity that we're working at is either using RPE, rate of perceived exertion, or RIR, reps in reserve. There's a ton of research out there showing that one of the best ways you can get results in the gym is by lifting sub-maximal loads and occasionally working towards failure. Which should go without saying, strength is also a skill, and understanding how to perform movements correctly is going to pay big dividends in your overall effectiveness in the weight room, especially when it comes to movements like deadlifting variations, squatting, pushing, pulling, and in fact, almost every exercise. Because the more efficient you are with these movement patterns, the heavier weight you're going to be able to lift, which means the more stimulus you can create equals more gains. For the majority of the time, the intensity that we want to be working towards is ideally 7 to 9 RPE or 1 to 3 reps in reserve, and occasionally pushing towards failure. So we're going to have a look at some clips of some of my athletes lifting in the weight room, and we're going to see what ideal reps and sets are going to look like. So let's have a look at young Nico here. He's the youngest ever to win European trials at 17 years old. He's been training with me since he was 16. This clip is from November 2024. So he's only been, I would say, 4 to 5 months into his resistance training journey. So what we're going to see here is he's still learning how to deadlift properly. When he first started, we just put 40 kilos on the bar. Of course, he could lift it, but his technique was all over the place. So we needed to teach him how to get into the right posture to be able to lift the weight. So let's have a look at his lifts here. We've got 100 kilos on the bar. 1 rep, perfect. Great lift. Hips down, good. So what we're focusing on here is just making sure he can maintain good posture with a pretty heavy stimulus. 100 kilos, quite heavy for him. Ultimately, he'd get to 120, no problem, and be able to do multiple reps of that. But what we need to understand about this clip here is if I put a gun to his head, could he have done 5 to 10 more reps? Yeah, he probably could have. But he's got 100 kilos on the bar. He's getting a good stimulus from that. While it's not the heaviest weight he could possibly lift or even close to failure, we need to take into account that he's still learning the movement pattern. Now, if you're fairly new to lifting and you're still learning to squat and learning how to deadlift, if you go too heavy too soon, I'm just going to play this clip again. If you go too heavy too soon, learning the correct technique is going to be very difficult, and you won't be able to maintain excellent technique as you're lifting. So lifting sub-maximal weights and gently creeping the weight up over time, creating more stimulus, session to session, week to week, is the correct way to do it. Now, eventually with Nico, we will get him to 100, 120 kilos, 160, 200, potentially one day. But the main goal for this current time period that this has been filmed in is to make sure we create enough stimulus that it's challenging, but he can also maintain good technique, because that is what's going to help him memorize and maintain good technique when he gets to a heavier weight by the time what we say is earning the right to lift heavy loads. And that's a perfect example of, we would go 3 sets of 5 there. I think when I was coaching him in that session, I'd probably put 113 on, 103 or 105 just to make it very slightly challenging, but I would tell him to maintain that good technique all the way through. That's going to be the priority there. Let's have a look at Faris here. So Faris, we've got 165. Nice lift. Good lift. Three.
Good posture, man. Keep good posture.
Time and posture.
2 more. Same, keep it. Yeah.
Last one.
Last one. Nice.
Nice, man. Perfect. So, again, that was working pretty close to failure. Gun to his head. Could he have done 2 more? Probably. But that's still great. That still created a great stimulus. It's probably 2 reps within failure. He's still working. Let's say probably between an 8 to a 9 RPE there, which is tremendous stimulus, especially for someone who just finished a jiu-jitsu session 2 hours earlier. If you were to come in and work at that intensity, most of the time, you're going to get great results, and eventually that's what's going to make you stronger. So that's just another example of what a good quality set can look like. And that happened to be his last set. Let's have a look at Stefan here, doing his dumbbell bench press with 252 kilo dumbbells. Right, so he's in position now, getting his posture. Go on.
1, 2.
2.
1, 2.
3.
1, 2.
4.
1, 2.
5.
Go on. 1,
2.
2. Yeah.
Good. Really good quality set there. Again, gun to his head. Could you have done 2 more reps? If he's going to die, for sure he probably could have. But maybe even just 1 more. But that's another great example of what high intensity work sets look like, and what the majority of your sets should look like. Now, the question is, how heavy should you lift? I don't know, because I don't know exactly how strong you are, so it's going to be subjective to you. But I'm showing you these examples as reference to what a good quality set should look like, and the kind of like the intensity that you should be working at. Obviously, these guys are very strong now, but it's taken a long time for them to get to this level. Let's have another look at Stefan. Let's have a look at a video of Stefan here. We're going to have a look at a 1 rep max at 160 kilos on the bench. This is what a 1 rep max should look like. So he's got 160 on there.
Big push, leave it, leave it, yes!
Tough work. Obviously, there was no way he could have done another rep there, but did you notice? Let's have a quick look at that through again. He maintains perfect technique. His heels are pressing down to the floor. He maintains his arch. Look at his arch. Look at his arch. Look at his feet. Perfect. Now that's a perfect expression of performing a 1 rep max. We'll have another look at his we'll have a look at his deadlift now. Got 200 kilos on the bar. This was some time ago. Let's see. Maintaining excellent posture. That's what a 1 rep max should look like. But it takes, like we said with the Nico video before, we build it up gradually. Of course, we want to be working towards failure, and it's going to be a time and place where we can do those 1 rep maxes. But if the majority of your working sets are challenging, then that's the best way we're going to get results. And that's why we use, majority of your sessions should be 7 to 8 RPE. And on the days you're feeling really good and you're like, yeah, fuck it, I can go for it, that's when you can work close to failure and really try and bang some good quality reps out. We'll have another look on the contrary. Owner Flanagan, this is a clip of him here when he just got back from a summer camp. He hadn't really been doing too much lifting, so we're like, okay, I don't want to make him too sore. Usually he can Bulgarian split squat up to 40, 50 kilos if he really wants to push it, but that's going to be like 10 RPE, and that'll ruin his legs, which you don't want to do too often. So we got 25 kilos here. He's going to perform, I think, 8 reps. Excuse me, let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Perfect. In that set, could he have done 10 more reps? Yeah. Gun to his head, he probably could have done 15 more reps. But given the context, he just got back, he hadn't lifted weights in like 3 or 4 weeks. That was the perfect intensity that I wanted him to work at. If we did too much, he would be too sore from that session. On the same day, this is him doing some bench press. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect stimulus. And he was really sore from this session. You can see that last rep here. We're going to get it up now. Nice intensity, not too hard, probably could have done one more rep. That's the kind of intensity you want to be working at in the weight room, and ultimately it's going to get you the best results. And the reason why we would use RPE or RIR is because that's measuring the intensity to how you feel is always going to auto-regulate the weights that you're going to be lifting. So as an example, if you've come in, you're exhausted, and let's say you can normally dumbbell bench 50s, and you're like, man, I'm absolutely fried today. I'm going to touch the 40s. And you're doing normally you can do 3 sets of 8 on the 50s, and it's like, yeah, that last one's pretty hard. And the 40s are feeling that same way today. You're working at the right intensity to how you feel on that day. So hopefully that makes sense and covers, what kind of intensities we're looking to work at in the weight room. And a really simple progression model as well, actually, would be, let's say you've got 100 kilos on the bar and you're doing squats, and you're getting towards that last, let's say you're on your last 3 reps, and you're doing 6 reps, and the 6th rep is pretty good, 7th rep is good, 8th is like mildly challenging. You're like, I could probably go a bit heavier. Great. Slap the 1.5s on each side, make it 103 kilos for the next set. If you get the same feeling, take them off, put the 105s on. And we just want to think about progressing by the minimal effective dose, session to session, so we get that progressive, linear progression. For the most part, people who are watching this video right now, we're going to be able to get so much linear progression. If you're in the more advanced end of the spectrum, that's where you're going to have different exercise variations. You're going to have underloading, overloading methods like pause bench presses or eccentric loaded bench presses, or adding more incline benching, pause squats. There's different rep set schemes. There's many variations that we can choose from. But for the most of you who are in the beginner to the intermediate phase of lifting, just continue lifting and continue to try to keep adding little bits of weight at a time, session to session, and over time, months to years, you will progress massively. So hopefully that was helpful. Make sure you like, subscribe. If you have any questions and you are on my Matt Strong group, ask them in the community group. If you haven't signed up to the Matt Strong program yet, check the links below. There's going to be a free 7-day program for you there. If you're interested to find out more about how I program for some of the best jiu-jitsu athletes and combat sports athletes in the world, get your 7-day free Matt Strong program below, and you'll sign up. They'll sign you up to the email list, and you have all the information you need to get good quality strength and conditioning programs done.